bad for the weld. You don't want to blow on it too well. I probably should have it under a blanket right now. I think I'm gonna call that good. Eric's gonna have to buy me a bandsaw blade, or maybe two.
Yes,
he's over here cutting anchor bolts.
It's broke because I used it.
Hey, my dad asked, why didn't you already have them in your concrete?
Because I didn't know when I was gonna get the cord.
Oh, I see.
And sometimes that stuff gets moved around.
Ah, I see. Plans change. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they get bumped and moved when you pour concrete.
Oh,
and
like when all the steers get on there and have a party?
Getting shit all over.
Okay, so I got her welded up. This thing has developed a couple of hairline cracks around that weld that holds that pin into this arm. That's when you buy this piece from the factory, it's a one-piece deal, and this is on the loader. But I was concerned that that crack might eventually let loose and the pin would come out of this plate, and then I'd have a disaster. So anyway, I scarfed it out, and well, I probably need to get a carbon arc torch. I think it might work better for that type of deal, but I got it done. The scarfing tip I used, it's a little bit faster than grinding. If a person wants to grind that much, it'd take forever. We've got this is my leveling, set you back here a little further. This is my leveling arm. This keeps your loader level, or keeps it from spilling back over the bucket whenever you raise your front end loader. And I just lost that. But it's easier to put this on there first. Well, we got her together, so welded up anyway. Now I just got to put this back in there, and something obviously. Yep, there it went. That's that. And now I just put the snap rings on inside and outside, and let's get the washer. And I should have washed these, but I need to wash the whole backhoe. I just haven't done it. My pressure washer's kind of not been working right, so. But anyway, that's how you put that on there, and then the one that goes up underneath, same deal. And then I'll put some grease in it, and it'll be good to go, I hope. At least I won't have to worry about it coming off in the middle of the job, which I wouldn't want that to happen for sure. But yeah, this block of wood I just put in there to hold that cylinder up while I worked on it. Looks good as new, right? Well, I don't know about that, but it looks okay. I got some paint on it, matches a little bit better. Okay, I got this thing washed this time. Well, I just found some more grease here that fell out of something up there. Oh, I put the pin in there, it pushed it out. That's what happened. It's pretty darn tough to keep these things clean. And when you go to wash them, you blow grease off one area, it lands on another, so it takes a lot of time. But anyway, got to pull this cylinder off. What you got to do is pull all these hose clamps loose. The hoses can stay on here or stay connected. You just got to pull them up out of the way. And then you got to disconnect, of course, your hoses on your cylinders, which there's 3 on each cylinder. There's a crossover, and then there's the line coming in and out, and then there's a crossover, 2 crossover tubes that connect them together. So they work together, push and pull. And so this cylinder's got a weld leaking. I had a similar problem to the other one, and I actually did a live stream on that one when I fixed it, and Tim Ebert helped me out on that. And I'm gonna do this one without the live stream. I'm gonna, you know, Tim helped me out a bunch. Tim gave me he actually sent me welding rods before I needed them. I don't know how he knew I needed them, but we used a Red Baron 309 332 stainless steel rod, and that stuff, I tell you what, that's the ticket for stuff like this. But it takes a little bit. You got to pull the pin out of the ends of the cylinder. Like I say, this hose clamps, and then there's 3 big bolts that hold this trunnion plate on here, and once you pull it off, you can lift the cylinder out. So anyway, I'm gonna get started. Probably time lapse this. We got a lot of wind noise today, as you can tell. Okay, got the cylinder apart, and this is what it's supposed to look like. This bushing has busted or cracked. And these have been loose, you know, for a while now. Time for new ones, but this one's split in half. The dealer has these in stock, at least a couple of them, but the thing is they don't have the mating. There's a bushing inside of that piece too, and they didn't have that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the all 4 of them on both sides and tighten this stuff up. I mean, the swing has been getting pretty loose on it, but I don't know. I mean, I've never had one do this before. It broke the bushing, and when it did that, it started hammering things up. So this little repair is getting a little more expensive, but like I say, this is stuff that I need to be doing anyway. I need to be keeping up with it. It's just tough to make these decisions and make these calls. You know, this is an old machine. Probably ought to sell it, but I'm gonna keep at it a little bit longer here. Anyhow, this is this is part of the backhoe business. This is a part of the business when you're running older equipment, you're going to run into this cylinder leaking. I'm gonna drain all the oil out of it I can get out of it, and I got to weld that barrel up. I do need to do the bushings in these rods, the rod eyes too. I'm gonna save that for a later date. Those pins, you're looking at about $100 a piece on these bushings. So I'm looking at about an $800 job just to do this part right here, and I'm going to take that chunk now, and then at another date I'll replace these pins and these bushings, and we'll get the swing all tightened up on it. It'll be nicer to operate, but it's been getting loose. I mean, there's no excuse for what's going on. When this stuff gets loose, it starts hammering. Gets a little slack in it, starts hammering, but I keep it greased, so it's not like it ran dry, but you still run into problems with things just stress out and they break. So that's where we're at today. Well, I got started on this cylinder, and I decided on this one I'm gonna go ahead and weld the end all the way around. The other one, I just went beyond the crack where my cylinder. What I'm doing is I'm grinding off the old weld. This is the old weld. This is the kind of weld that the factory puts in, probably with the machine, nice and smooth, looks pretty, lasts a long time. But I'm gonna go ahead and grind it out, V-groove out the center of it, and put in some stainless 309 rod. I really like how this stuff works. It's stronger than regular welding rod, plus it does a nice job of blending in with the steel and makes a good strong repair. My friend Tim Ebert has put me onto this stuff, even furnished me with the welding rod. So anyway, I've got more than halfway around it, almost a little more than halfway around it. But what I'm doing, I'm going a little bit, stopping, doing some grinding, kind of letting it cool off a little. I don't want to get it too hot. These are chrome lined barrels, so you don't want to overheat these. You can bubble, and I have done it. I bubbled the chrome up on one, and it ruins them. But this, the thick end here, it holds a lot of heat, pulls a lot of the heat out of the barrel. So, and really the piston doesn't travel this far back. This is the way this is made, this piece extends up inside the barrel. So in this area here, there's not any chance of bubbling really the chrome, unless you just really got crazy with it. But 332, 309 makes a pretty good weld if you're careful. So I think I'm just going to run a bead down the center. I don't know that I need a stringer on each side of it. I think that'd be overkill. If I was a better welder, I could probably make this bead a little nicer and wider, and but I think it's gonna work. We're gonna hope it works. the bead in there on both sides, top and bottom, and it shrinks it up. They will come right out. Now, while these are hot, I probably need to get while this is still hot, I need to put the new ones in. So this is a pretty fun repair. Welded up the cylinder. I got it. I hope it's going to work. I think it's going to work. I air tested it. Air test seemed fine, but the real test is 5,000 psi hydraulic pressure. That's what gets them. But I still got to pull this cylinder off and replace the bushings top and bottom, and then I can start putting all this back together. But I can go ahead and put this cylinder together here, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that and get it in place, and then that way I can use my caps on the other side. These are priceless, man. I need to buy another set. I've got 2 sets, so I've got 4 of each size. Need to have another set, maybe 2 more sets of them would be handy, because you can cap your lines off, start your equipment, and move it if you need to while you're working on it. If you don't do that, you can't start stuff up and move it around, so it's really handy. So I'd recommend those for sure. Anyway, I'm gonna set this cylinder on there and continue on here.